Hey everybody, we're the Rumble Pack. This is Khalid, and I got into the Destiny Alpha on the PS4, so I recorded a bunch of it for us to kind of give a preview of.
Destiny.
Destiny.
It's so epic.
Definitely the music is epic.
Well, Bungie.
So everyone, that's Khalid's PSN ID up there. If you want to bug him.
Yep, it sure is.
We're classy bitches.
And so notice, when I was editing this together, actually, I guess I should make it clear. Khalid is the only one who's actually played Destiny. So he's gonna probably do a bulk of the explaining of the mechanics. The rest of us are just here to talk shit about it, I guess.
Goth makeup, black lips.
You're in space. You need black lips when you're in space. It's a thing.
I don't know where he got that. I made him correct it, don't worry.
There's a lot of customization options. I noticed that. That's like what, 15 hairstyles? Oh man. Actually,
It's a lot of hairstyles. I don't really like any of them.
the one thing I like about it is instead of having it on like some menu where it's like click, 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 and you have to click all the way fucking through, you can actually see like a representative picture. Like, take fucking note, people. This is how you do hair customization.
Yeah, I guess even the face shapes are that way.
Are you recreating the heroine from Transistor right here?
No, I generally make some sort of redheaded, green-eyed. That's what my shepherd looks like too.
Thing.
Oh, go back to space dreads.
Yeah, go back to Space Pigtails.
Anime
I'd
hair.
say I don't like any of the hairstyles, but I like the shading on the hair. It gives it a very real look.
I like the shading. I don't like the colors because the colors look really artificial.
He's not actually doing this live, so when we tell him to go back to something, he can't actually do it. Oh, derpy skull paint.
So Khalid, how was controlling this with a controller? Because controllers are awful.
It was a little awkward doing this with thumbstick instead of like mouse. I was a little bummed out I couldn't just like flip through the options like with the D-pad, but other than that, it controlled pretty alright. It wasn't too fast.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I have to say I like that, and I totally just went back on my video, so everything's now on sync. So me, what time code are you guys at? Press pause and then tell me.
246.
So I noticed. I mean, we've moved on from it now, but you had a very manly-looking woman there. I kind of like that, and the reason I kind of like that is because it means that they're like, no, it's totally okay. We're not gonna limit whatever choices you want to make in terms of like your gender or whatever. So if you want like a super luxuriously long-haired male character with like super bright red lipstick, you can do that, and that's okay. You do you. I kind of like that.
Well, yeah, I actually found most of the guy hairstyles to be kind of girly.
Oh yeah, no, they're all totally very.
Yeah,
Well,
it's early.
It's the future, so
Yeah,
you know,
the metrosexuals have taken over, really.
Grab people.
But no, like I said, I just like that because I'm kind of a sucker for customization, so I always like to see it when a game is like, yeah, no, you do whatever you want. Like Saints Row.
To get
Saints Row is a good
true
example.
options instead of fake options.
Those facial markings have a dead eye, so I know which one Colin's gonna use.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I've nailed it. You're hovering back over it.
Man, just because my Xbox avatar had
Oh
a
no,
scar
wait,
over his eye.
you're in the Illidan ones now. Bald Illidan. I'll get to Fat Illidan. Yeah, Fat Illidan.
Yeah, there's 3 races to choose from. As far as I can tell, they don't have anything specific they do opposed to another race. They just look different.
If you just want to look like the aliens from Avatar.
Right. If you just want to be blue people, you can be blue people. If you just want to be a robot, you can be a robot.
who wouldn't want to be a robot? The only thing that would be better is if you could be a robot and a blue person at the same time somehow. Why are they limiting our customization? Bullshit. God, you're right. The hairstyles really are girly. Like, period.
This is
Yeah.
This is just alpha, so I hope some more, like they add some more customization features.
They honestly look more, there's some anime inspired ones, there's some There's a lot of cyberpunk, Blade Runner inspired ones, and then there's a lot of Asian inspired ones. Well, that's what it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Now, let me ask you this, Khalid. Back to how you control this. Do you have to use the control sticks, or can you use the touchpad? Since this is on a PS4.
I didn't even think to try and use the touchpad.
You're bad. This is why Khalid doesn't review games for the Rumble Pack.
Man, the only game that used the touchpad in any sort of fashion that I've played so far has been Assassin's Creed 4, and that was just to control the map.
Really quick, the hairstyles for this race superior to everything else.
Much better. I was
My
about
God.
to ask you. I was about to ask you, what do you think of the Awoken hairstyles? Because they seem a lot better. They have cooler facial
Yeah.
markings too.
Yeah, that was a billion times better. There are so many cool hairstyles. I would not be able to pick.
What's our
Alright.
quick time code check? Where are we?
605, 606.
Yep. Same. Alright, RoboCops. I just watched the new one last night. I was really impressed with RoboCop drastically changing the topic from this
fuck outta
gorgeous
here.
$1 million game.
Get out.
Oh, I forgot you're a notorious hater of things.
No, I'm a notorious
No.
hater of terrible things, such as remakes of the best movie ever. Yeah, you know what? We're done. We're done with Destiny. We're gonna talk about the new RoboCop and why it shouldn't
No,
exist.
no,
No.
no.
He
because
brought
I
it
need to talk
up.
about that
He
for
did this. He
hours.
did this to us.
No.
What? So these are. Look at all these cool anime robot
Yeah.
things.
There's a lot of cool, like, I like the hole in the head one.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I like it.
Oh, was that Mass Effect reference? The Blank 7? Looks vaguely Mass Effect-y.
Oh my
Right.
God,
Yeah,
it
it does. Yeah, it totally does.
Did they give you any background on any of these races?
Nope.
Do you you chose the Titan class, correct?
Correct.
Do we know if there's any limitation in terms of what races can be what classes? Or
No, because you choose your, as far as I can tell, you choose your class first.
yeah, so it's just
And
completely
then-
wide open. That's sweet.
Yeah.
I like the double antennas though because it makes it look totally like fucking retro, and shit.
Okay.
Oh, now we're getting into the actual game.
Okay. The Skywatch is
So-
just on the other side of the
And
steps.
it's surrounded by Fallen. And
S-
it's surrounded by
I'm
Fallen.
ready if you are.
You don't need
So,
to
Well,
shut up for the
I'm
story.
ready
Go.
if you are.
so
Well,
one of the
it's Peter
things.
Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. If there's one reason that I would play this game and play it through, even if it never comes out on PC, it would be because of Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, but they
Even though everybody says his performance is flat and uninspired, I think that's the point because he's a robot.
Hey, jump jet. Well, no, I think that that's the point too. And if you watch the trailer for this game, like one of the trailers, they actually have him with a lot more post-processing on his voice. And I think they kind of did Peter Dinklage a disservice because if that's like the intended end result, putting the alpha out without it, like I understand reality's development, blah blah blah, but like Peter Dinklage is getting like smacked around by gamers for giving a quote unquote terrible performance when that's probably exactly what was intended. And the idea is like, hey, we're gonna put some robot post processing on them. And yeah, it's stupid. They shouldn't have done that.
What was this grenade you just threw?
I think it's a flashbang. There's a point later where I
You know, this
open
place
up
must
the
have been amazing before the collapse.
the menu and you can see what it is.
Thousands of humans boarding the colony ships. to
So
build cities beyond.
Khalid, you had said that this is a lot like
Now
Borderlands. Is that
fallen.
something you're still gonna stick
Just
by after
picking its
having played it?
I didn't get a lot of loot drops while I was playing, but that's the general idea I'm getting from the game. Because, like, your entire armor is customizable with new pieces, your weapons, and it all does. Like, it's a lot like Borderlands. You know, it's like, oh, here's a new piece of gear. How's it stack up to my
the
next
hill,
piece?
The building with the radar.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
the stuff I got was from quests, but maybe that's. I mean, this is just the first mission, so. Maybe.
See, watching him play it, I compared it more to, God, what's that game I hate?
Warframe?
Halo?
Warframe?
That narrows it down.
I don't know. This doesn't look a lot like Warframe to me. I mean, but I could be wrong. He does have the nice jump jet, so.
Yeah, that is nice. It seems like a better Warframe to me
It looks gorgeous.
in terms of actual gameplay.
Yeah, it does look gorgeous, but I'll be interested to see what it looks like if it ever comes to PC, because then it'll look really gorgeous.
Yeah. Though I do have to say, like, I've always been a Sony fangirl at heart, and I think graphically they do a pretty good job.
I'm still not buying a PS4 to Rumble Pack this thing. Not happening.
No, I don't expect you to do that, but if you're gonna get a console, I always suggest Sony consoles.
There you go, guys. All of our credibility is now out the window this decade. Being a Sony fangirl.
Well, maybe their game shouldn't look so goddamn pretty. Do I had to bring up Final Fantasy versus, like, PS3 and Xbox?
I like the design
Like
of
the debacle with that?
I like the design of the weapon and the armor. I'll say, aesthetic. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
It took me far too long to figure out how to switch weapons.
Yeah, I bet on keyboard with a keyboard and mouse it wouldn't be too hard to hit that scroll wheel bitches.
Exploring is, like, super easy, because you can really, really glide around on that.
Yeah, definitely. So there's your melee attack. Now, clearly these are like some old school bombed out bombers.
Oh, did you see the shadow?
Yeah? Wow. Yeah. A console with a shadow. We've truly entered the next generation of
Oh
people.
my god, we get it. You hate consoles. Let's talk about the game. Look at how
Well,
cool this
nothing,
is.
literally
But it's
nothing was
weird.
happening, Chris. Jump off my dick.
Well, and it is really weird for a console game to introduce, like, that detailed shadow. It's very impressive for something as silly as just a little shadow. But it was a detailed shadow.
Consoles always surprise people because by the end of the console's lifespan, people figured out how to pull everything out of it. So, like, this just shows the power of the new console generation when, this is what we're getting off of a box they sold you for $400 to $500, and that's it. You don't ever really have to upgrade it.
I don't know if that
environments.
Like,
They're stunning.
I tend to agree with you that that's true, or it has been true in the past. I don't know if that'll be true this time since they're x86 based, because, like, it's one of the reasons they used to get so much out of them before is because it's like, oh, well, we're going to use these somewhat obscure and unfamiliar architectures, like Cell. Anyone? But
Shotgun.
this is, now they're based on the most ubiquitous architecture in the world. So, I mean, we'll see. We shall see. But yes, shotgun.
What was your weapon switch button that you finally figured out?
I had to hold triangle.
That's
I would have
Yeah.
pushed down on an analog stick. That would have made more sense to me.
or one of the bumpers.
Yeah.
Did they have custom control mapping?
I didn't get that deep into it. It'll be
Their
interesting to see
shotgun
if they
is
do.
extremely literal.
Yeah, that thing can't hit shit
There's no
beyond
range
5
on
feet.
that shit.
So I see you're back to an AR. Shotgun was not impressive.
ARs are my gun of choice, especially from this distance.
Well, there's some games where you can get away with a lot with the shotgun. This does not appear to be one of those games.
You mentioned that your weapons and armor are customizable. Is that in terms of looks, or do they actually have functional pieces like scopes and shit?
Scopes and shit.
I meant customizable as in, like, you get a new piece, it has a different look to it.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is, does that extend beyond cosmetics to, like, actual function as well?
Well, I mean, besides stats, I really don't know. Like I said, I didn't play too deep into the alpha.
That's fair.
Your shotgun seems to be doing business here.
It will
Yeah,
not
he's
up
really
his face.
close.
Yeah, when he rests the end of the barrel on his opponent, it does quite well.
Yeah, look at that.
You know,
Just keep
I mean,
running circles
if
around
you're
that
gonna be
box.
up in someone's grill, I'd want a shotgun versus the assault rifle.
Yeah.
Something that not a lot of games include that I think would be really awesome in terms of, like, shotguns is choke adjustment. That'd be really awesome, wouldn't it? Why don't more games do that?
I mean, would they just represent it as more damage? Oh, here we go. We're in a,
More damage at better range, you know.
Yeah, and since this is a kind of MMO style game, there's no real pause.
Which you've just learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys respawned on me like 5 or 6 times.
That's awful. But no, like, you know, choke adjustment to just get a little bit better range and stuff like that, Chris. Granted, I don't necessarily know how they would institute a downside in terms of, like, why wouldn't you just set your choke to get the longest possible range because it gets through tight damage?
We haven't talked about this yet, but the UI is nice. I like
Yeah,
it. It's
UI 's
very easy to understand and not super cliched, like not set up like a lot of other games.
So in other words, it's not
Yeah,
Warframe's UI is what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's a very clean UI because I'm pretty sure all this alpha stuff won't be here.
you weren't lying.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's there back when the NDA was in effect, so they could be like, oh, this is the leaker. Of course, I don't necessarily know how much help it would have been because I could obscure that in about 30 seconds in Sony Vegas, but okay. So, yeah, you said they respawn on you about 3 more times?
Yeah, something like that.
Fantastic. Has anyone ever told you you might be bad at video games?
Well, like I was never mind.
No, we understand. We're just jokes.
Everyone, I think that's why we work so well as a team, is everyone has their weak and strong points. So this is an example of one of Khaled's weak points, where one of
Okay,
us
so-
would step in
well,
and be awesome.
Well, so tell us about the Titan class. You're obviously some sort of tank class.
So, like, here real soon, I actually finally got to get into my menu and see my abilities. Because I stepped through a doorway here, and then
Like, now that we know the secret, I hate watching you stay around that area. Just like, get the fuck out of there, what's wrong with you?
I thought maybe it would blow up.
We're in.
Well, it is
Okay,
red,
s-
and video game law says anything that's red explodes.
Relay station.
Right, okay.
A link to the lunar colonies.
So here I finally get to open the menu, and I can finally, see what's going on.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see this. Did they start you out at? You leveled up once, so did they start you at level 3? That would
It
make
looks-
absolutely
yeah.
no sense.
I started at level 3. Here's your skill tree.
Oh, so you're a striker, which is a Titan subclass. So there's.
Yeah, so it looks like I'm melee focused. Yeah, at close quarters, a fist is better than any gun.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm thanking you for something you did in the past, but when you started scanning through those real quick, I was like, yeah, so that's totally useless to discuss these skills.
Yeah, so, I realized what I was doing, and I slowed down and went through them all to see.
Yeah, it definitely does look, oh, interesting. Definitely melee focused. Did you choose this, or was it chosen for you?
No, I picked the Titan, and this is what it gave me.
So, like, the game chooses whatever subclass it decides to give you, or?
I think the Alpha chose whatever subclass to give me.
Alright, I guess that. You want to test the most, wide range possible. Now,
Yeah.
what I find interesting is there was one there called Illumination, which said, sets this subclass locking previous choices. I
saw that.
wonder if that means that you can kind of sort of multi-class. That would be pretty cool.
I would think, and it'll definitely be interesting to see where it goes.
You know, the funny thing is, people who play.
So this is
Sorry, go ahead.
like this thing I just got here is basically your basically my action skill from Borderlands.
You know, there are probably people who played further into the alpha who know the answers to that question, and they don't want. So a vehicle, that's nice.
Which I didn't get a chance to play with.
I wonder if that.
I noticed that.
Go ahead.
I noticed that one of the pre-order bonuses at GameStop is a custom Sparrow, blah blah blah. But I figured everyone started with some sort of Sparrow space bike.
So yeah, like you'll see later, but every piece of armor you get changes the appearance of your character. It'll be interesting to see if they have some sort of transmog.
Yeah. Hey, this answers your question, Chris. Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like you can customize it. It looks like there are multiple options.
Yeah, green thumb, cold shoulder, mirror, jumper, puppeteer. Yeah, I'm willing to bet if they don't have customization, there'll be a build in there that's for you.
I find it interesting that they have a mirror one because that's essentially a left-hand mode. You don't really see that too often.
In the final, you might want to blank all that out.
Yeah. All of your friends list and everything.
Yeah.
Say what? I'm on there hidden where no one can recognize me.
Your super chug.
That means I can use my action skill.
Right. So, I want to go back to the weapon designs because, like, that's one of the things that really stands out to me. It's interesting how not Halo it looks.
Which is fine by me.
So I found my dance button.
And that's what mattered. Good job.
Thank God.
Extremely important.
I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, there wasn't enough booty shaking there for me.
All right. So you can sit down. It really is an MMO.
Yeah, like wow, this is getting
That-
really like World of Warcraft up in here.
That helmet is hardcore Warframe, by the way.
Some girl-specific sitting.
No. Everybody sits like that here.
Oh well, I hope that's true.
So
Sitting like that is actually really
found-
comfortable.
You
Just for
found the
record.
crouch.
I
Yeah,
did.
when your hips are
Dead end.
in a different way. You found your crouch button.
Sealed this gate.
yeah, and clearly you're in
I
some
can
sort
get
of
it
bombed out Soviet tenement. This is very Metro.
Yeah.
Just saying. You know, they should change that. Not deploy Ghost. It should be deploy Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Right.
The fallen really.
Like,
didn't
Peter
want anybody
Dinklage is
getting
your
in.
homeboy for the entirety of this game.
Makes me want to play this game.
Which like I would love to play this game with you guys.
No.
But if they don't release a PC version, I might have to buy the PS4 version.
What is
And then
this?
so much fighting in one suit.
You know, I think it's interesting.
Lots
Like
of
they,
motion ahead.
when they
I've
first
got a bad
announced it,
feeling about
they
this.
were very hard for like, no, we're not releasing a PC version because nobody plays that PS on PC anymore. Which is, as a statement, that's fucking ludicrous. But okay,
As evidence, go to half of our Let's Play videos.
yeah, that and Counter-Strike Go, which is the most popular competitive FPS in the fucking world. Hey, you know, nobody plays.
It's the hive.
But now they've gotten a lot more coy about it, and I think that there's a couple of reasons for that. One,
Is this your Havoc Fist?
No, I haven't used it yet. You'll see it when I use it.
you'll know.
Are you always angry?
I'm always angry.
So it looks like you kind of got wrecked there a little bit.
Yeah,
What's this bar at the top? Is that your shield?
it's your life and your shields.
Okay, it's white the shield, and then when it gets into red, that's your health.
No, I think it's just more just generally combined. Like,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
just
saying.
your-
When it, oh, is it both?
Yeah.
so essentially,
Say,
That
it
was-
looked red earlier.
Boom! That was Havoc Fist,
yeah, that
right?
definitely
Yeah.
was. No, it did, but I think that was more just like, hey, dumbass, you're about to die. Than like, no, now you're really in life.
Yeah, find some cover.
So they've been a lot more coy about whether they're going to release on PC, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. And one of them being is, I don't know if you guys know this, but actually at the very end of last year, it was announced that PC game sales are now like greater than all of the consoles combined, and like that's
There's a wizard
probably
here.
why they're
You
maybe
see
we should
something floating in
reevaluate
the
that
air,
thing.
you have to kill it.
And I just think it's funny that they went from being like, nobody plays on PC to, maybe we'll release the PC version. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, I hope they do, and I mean, I'm not going to hold it against them. Their obvious dumb choice. Because
I'm taking a drink every time you talk about how much you hate consoles.
I'm not talking about how much I hate consoles. I'm talking about how stupid Bungie was for saying something like people don't play FPS on PC.
That is not a correct statement.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not. It looks fun, so I'd love it if they do it. So, but as I said, I'm not buying a PS4 for Destiny. 'Cause no game is that good. Damn, Khalid.
I was just about to ask
The
you
wizard's here.
what game would get you to buy a console.
A single individual game, probably not going to happen. Legend of Zelda is a good start though, in terms of a Wii U.
Anyway.
What? Is that a
Yeah,
totally
back-
unfair
back-
stance?
No,
Back to the
it's
games
not.
that we're actually
supposed to be
reviewing.
reviewing a video game. If you're gonna listen to this audio and be like, oh shit.
Right now, the combat's speaking for itself. Where's this wizard you're supposed to kill?
I actually.
Gotra, air spawn.
Oh hey.
Oh man, you gave that guy the fist.
I actually like that. The fact that his health bar is a different color. Is that because he's the guy you need to kill, or is it because he's got like some shield or whatever? And by the way,
He's got a name and he's more powerful. And here I die.
There's no delicate way to word this. The fisting is quick and not cheesy looking.
Oh, it's so satisfying when you hit somebody in the jaw.
it's an interesting little sport in that. I'm not quite sure what purpose it serves.
Well, I think the assumption you're playing the
So, like, Destiny, like, I'm playing it by myself. But if I'd gone out into the bigger game after this, there are community events that just happen.
So like Guild Wars.
Right. But for the most part, I'm playing in my own world. But then a community event can happen. I can go to that point and, like, it'll mix with the other world. And, like, then suddenly
Okay.
there's 3 or 4 fire teams trying to take on a giant spider tank or something like that.
Wait, do they actually call them fire teams? Are they 3 people? 3 to 4 people?
Yeah, I think it's 4 people fire teams.
That is an accurate statement.
I like this. But it does very much sound like Guild Wars, Wildstar, etc. So maybe they did succeed in creating an MMO FPS.
Well, I'm going to take the opposite stance. I will buy a PS4 to play this. Because if Bungie follows their normal thing, it'll be 1 to 2 years before we see it on PC.
Well, realistically though, Bungie, of Bungie's games, the only one that ever actually found PC was but I don't know, like it's hard to tell because they were like literally owned by Microsoft for most of that time period.
Yeah.
And Microsoft wanted to sell a console, like their new console that they made.
The Hive haven't been on Earth
So,
in
I don't know.
centuries.
Now that they're an
That
independent
wizard
company, they
came
can
from
kind
the
of do
moon.
whatever the hell they want.
I thought we had them contained there. The darkness could be a lot closer than we think.
And plus,
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of emotion in that last. Sorry, there wasn't a lot of emotion in that last delivery.
Which,
Yeah, I think it's just not supposed to be.
yeah, since he's supposed to be an AI construct, like, I don't have a problem with the performance. So,
well, like I said, I think they did him a disservice because if you actually watch the trailer that they released at E3, he's got a lot of post-processing applied that makes him sound like a robot. And, you know, it like, I think that's the intended eventuality, and I think it sounds great once they add post-processing.
I will have to check that out after.
So precise kills is, I'm assuming, your headshots, and then you had 1
Yeah.
death, and you killed 6-7. You got a new helmet?
Yep.
8 watch type 1. I was on board with this game before. After watching this, I'm way more than on board. I'm ready to fire team it up. I don't even know what I want to play. So it was Titan, Warlock, and whatcha?
Titan, Warlock, and
Pop quiz.
I don't remember the third one.
The other one.
And so we know that each one has each one's gonna have at least more than one subclass. Because it wouldn't this subclass if there wasn't at least more than one. So we'll assume 3 main classes with 2 subclasses apiece.
Yeah. Okay, so here I'm loading up to they call it the tower, which is like the main city, your hub.
Your Ogremar.
By the way,
Yeah.
the very end of
Your
this,
Ogremar, your Citadel.
the very end of this is cut off intentionally. It it came through fine. I just snipped it because it was mostly you
Okay.
just standing around doing nothing.
Yeah, that will
Loading times are kind of a bear.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they give us a cool view, but you gotta keep in mind if we play this game for hours and hours, because it's an MMO, so it'll be hours and hours and days upon days of looking at this.
I know they're gonna have a social media tie-in too. There's gonna be apps.
Well, just add Twitter to the loading screens and it's all good.
Right? You're like, oh, I can check my Facebook feed.
I can tweet about how I'm waiting for this game to load.
I can do Rumble Pack tweets while waiting for the stupid game to load.
I like that background, by the way. The skybox. Nice.
I like that while all the game, like the gameplay itself is mostly first person, like it doesn't feel meaningless when you do all this stuff with your armor, because when you come back to the hub you can actually see it.
Also, this is a weird
know what?
Is
thing,
that you?
but you see how dark the character looks, and it seems like, oh, you can't see the character that well, but it makes her actually look like a part of the background. I find a lot of games like lighten the character, and it makes them stand out against the background, but if you're artsy, you notice that it stands out against the background and it looks out of place. She doesn't look out of place. It's awesome.
Just as a point, you talking about how it doesn't feel meaningless, it actually is also kind of natural, because this is going to make me sound really stupid, but I didn't even that into a third person view. Like it's nice and seamless, you know?
Yeah. P.S. I helped Khalid design his cheeky.
Oh, so you feel good?
I do. I took his style and I made it more fashionable. I took his style of character and I made it more attractive.
I just want to point out that ridiculous cut you just saw there, I had nothing to do with that. That was Khalid. And coming up here, we talked to Lance Reddick. Hi, Lance Reddick.
Hunter was the other class.
Hunter.
Ooh, I told myself I'd play Warlock, but Hunter.
I want to play Lance Reddick. I want to play Lance Reddick.
You're gonna be. I had a joke lined up.
Lieutenant
Say
Daniels
something
from The
funny
Wire.
there. I know that's too obscure.
Too obscure. The Wire. Oh. But what else has he been in? That's the real question. So, like, I noticed there that there's an intellect thing you could have gotten. Is there, like, I assume that this follows MMO rules and only, what am I trying to say? Like, each class only has certain stats that are useful. Is that the case? Or is it more like Guild Wars where, I think it was Guild Wars 2.
Right there, he was scrolling over that tier gear.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice that when I was playing. I was just looking at the defense stat because my brain wasn't quite in full MMO mode yet.
I'm on board. I went, like, just watching this, I went from 6 to minimum.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Buy me a PS4 and we'll do it, Chris.
Alright.
I will play it when it comes to PC. Because it inevitably will. It's not going to make money if it doesn't come to PC.
Like, being in the alpha, I am definitely more on board than I was. Like,
I'm more on board having watched this than I was before, but I'm still not on board. But, like, I guess what it comes down to is if I had a PS4, I'd be right there with you guys. Like, yeah, my dick is so hard. Like,
I knew I was going to get a PS4 eventually, because it's getting Uncharted 4 and now this, but like initially it didn't have anything that was like, oh fuck, I need it at launch.
Just a side note, like no, uh, don't worry about immediately having like static. So do we have any more like thoughts about it? I think it looks cool. Like I don't want people to get the opinion that I'm just sitting here like super down on it. I'll go ahead and I'll admit it. A little bit of it's jealousy. I'd like to play this on PC. I'll go ahead and I'll say that it's a little bit of jealousy because it looks like a pretty cool game. It looks like a good game. Even. I'd love to rumble pack it, but
Like my final thoughts on it, like the combat feels solid, fluid.
Combat was extremely smooth, like Borderlands level of smooth.
Like the game itself is very pretty. Like it looks desolate, but not in. Which is the point when you're on Earth, because I guess the planet's been taken over or whatever. But it doesn't look desolate like Borderlands 1 did.
yeah, it looks desolate in the sense of, you know, Borderlands 1 looked desolate because there was nothing around. This looks desolate because it's like, oh man, hey, look at this fallen civilization. Like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Sandra Boom, that was your cue up. Or were you doing Price is Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the noise everyone's gonna make in their head when Bob Barker dies.
Oh, Chris!
Andrew Carey, when
It's
it
gonna
comes
happen.
to it, let's be honest. Andrew
It's gonna
Carey.
happen.
You know, we'll cut this out, but do you, like, people were seriously saying, like, oh, Drew Carey's gonna host the Late Show. Like, now that Letterman's leaving, Drew Carey's gonna host the Late Show. I thought that was the most stupid speculation in the world, because if you're Drew Carey, why the fuck would you leave that cushy-ass job you have, where you only work 6 months out of the year, right? And, like, 2 days a week. That's fucking stupid. Who would give that up for the fucking Late Show, right?
That's true.
Yeah, you work a lot. I was just watching Jimmy Fallon get, like, he petted an albino alligator and it scared the shit out of him.
No, like, I like it. It looks good. I wish it was coming to PC, because then we'd play it.
Yeah, like if they don't announce a PC version coming soon, I will probably pick it up at launch to play on PS4, which means I at least have one person to play with.
Well, I mean, on the bright side, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, comes, like, I think a month after Destiny launches, so we'll have 4-player shoot loot to get ourselves through.
I'm so sorry that you're the only person that has to buy a copy of that, Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for reminding.
Buy a copy of what?
We got free copies of the new Borderlands game, remember, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
You should go put your code in.
Yeah,
Alternatively, you should give it to me. Like, I can't offer you any reasons you should do this. I'm just saying you should give it to me. Becca, do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, I like it better. Like, I didn't watch Khalid play it for the whole span, so watching the video, I'm glad I watched it. Because I was not impressed for the first, like, 10 minutes. And now I would totes play that. It's like Mass Effect, but not, so it means I like it.
Fair enough. Any final last PS thoughts? Anyone?
I want to see more classes. All that video did was make me want to see more.
I mean, if I pre-order it, I can get into the beta and maybe I'll grab some more.
Buy a pod.
That's expensive, and I have to buy a new video card.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. So that was Destiny. That was 3 people who'd never seen it before. 1 person who played it for like 2 seconds. I'm sure we had excellent, very informed opinions. Like, you'd be like, if you just like, comment down below.
Social media and all that stuff. Chris, do your part-time part.
Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. Do it.
You can find us on all of those at RumblePack LP. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye, Internet.
Goodbye.
I've had to pee so bad for like ever. I'll be right back.